It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight with Dan DeFaw. Before we get started, we want to help you save some money.
That's right, folks. Don't forget to use our promo codes to save that money. And let's start off with buckbaits.com. That's right, the brick and mortar store of Buck Baits down at Sterling Heights, Michigan at 15 and Dodge Park. Go over there. If you're on the website, buckbaits.com, use the promo code UNJ20. That will get you 20% off your order.
For those of you who are looking for Easy Cut products, make sure you go to easycutproducts.com. And when you're there, use the UNJ promo code UNJ15 off to save 15% off your order.
And let's not forget Lincoln Roan over at packermax.com. It's never too early, never too late to think about the Packer Max. Go on over to packermax.com, use the promo code UNJ25. That'll get you $25 off your order over at Packermax Outdoor.
For those of you looking for some new firearms and firearm products, make sure you go over to theislandarmory.com. While you're there shopping, use the promo code UNJ10 to save 10% off your order there.
If you shot that bird of a lifetime and you want it mounted, don't forget Troublesome Creek Taxidermy. We've had them live on the show. We've talked to them. You want to get 10% off your order, go to Facebook, go to troublesome.creek.7, find their website. If you go to our website, UNJ, make sure to click on the button to download the form. You get 10% off over there using the code UNJ10.
Looking for that game call, whether it be a squirrel, whether it be goose, duck, deer, make sure you go to JPO Game Calls. Look for them at jpogamecalls.com, and while you're there shopping, use the UNJ10 promo code to save 10% off your order.
And Miller Deer Tracking, the man that seems to never sleep during deer season. Get 20% off your next deer tracking using the promo code UNJ20. Look for Miller Deer Tracking on Facebook or give him a call over at 810-240-4891.
Looking for the hottest new plastics to take on the water, whether it be hard water or soft water? Make sure you go over to southernindianabaitco.com. While there, use the UNJ promo code UNJ10 to save 10% off your order.
Deer Camp Coffee, folks. We drink it every night on the show. You want to try it? You can go to the brick and mortar store at 15 and Dodge Park at Deer Camp itself, or go to deercampcoffee.com. Also use our promo code UNJ10. You get 10% off your order. And don't forget, get a bag of the UNJ medium roast blend there as well.
All right, Danny, where's our live view camera to look from tonight?
Welcome back to another live episode from the UNJ cabin. Tonight's live look, looking out over Lake Michigan, up in Empire, Michigan. Looking out over the lake. It is 74 degrees, and it looks like we might have some storms rolling in.
I don't want storms.
Well, it's the west side of the state first.
No storms tonight, man.
Right?
Look at that water.
I know, right?
That water needs to be kayaked.
Well, you know, it would be a good idea if somebody went and did that. This was a live camera, folks. It's trying.
Yeah, it's trying to refresh. This is actually, well, I'll come off it until it comes back live maybe here. Right. See if you can get it going again. We can see the waves going. Yeah, we can see everything. And it's one of those cameras we've had on before that it does a 180. So it's kind of cool. But it looks like they got storms rolling in on the west side of the state over there. This is actually exactly where we put in last week when we were on vacation. Oh, it's out. And you get a playback error. There you go. So it's done. It's done. We got it while we could. So right, exactly. But welcome back. Another episode of Up North Journal Live tonight. And last week we talked about fishing. We're going to talk some more about fishing tonight, but we're going to stay completely on the water. We are, and it was a great show last week with Patrick from Hud's Lures. Got great feedback on the show last week. You hungry? No, I'm not. My daughter took me out to dinner and it was all good. So you put on the feedback, I think. I did put on the feedback. That is no doubt there. So, we're going to head out. We're going to talk a little fishing in the second half of the show, but the first half of the show, we are going to talk about your adventures of kayaking. But we're going to be a little technical about it. But I know I said it in the live drop that you had made some cold brew. Second batch this season, but first on the show. What are you making? This is Deerlicious. Deerlicious. From Deer Camp. And speaking of that, a big shout out to Deer Camp Mayo.
They are up and running, so if anybody's heading up north and they're going to go through Mile, why don't you stop up at the Deer Camp location up in Mile? And it looks like they just got their 2 new flavors up there as well. The Butterscotch Sugar Time and What a Dandy Whiskey Barrel flavor. Which, I got to stop at the store and... yeah, exactly. So, but anybody heading up there...
Stop in.
Right, exactly.
Support your locals. Speaking of, staying with the kayak.
Well, before you go there, I got one more shout out
tonight.
I know we're July. One more shout out for, we're getting that time of year, Jake's Day, up over at Williams Gun Site is happening August 5th. I think that's the first Saturday in August.
It always is.
Right. So, Jake's Day over there, you go over there, free admission for everybody under 17. They must have a guardian, BB gun, trout pond, fly tying, archery shooting. Get over there and check over the Flint River chapter of NWTF for their Jake Day.
There you go. But I just thought I'd throw one of my paddling shirts on that I use, and this came from the Osable River store on the Osable River in Oscoda, Michigan. So if you're ever in Oscoda, you're looking for some beverages, some snacks if you're on the beach, but if you're paddling, you stop in there. You can do the same. You can also get some active wear.
Okay.
Got a lot of shirts and stuff, cool things there. So friends, kind of some new friends that we found up there.
Very nice. You meet a lot of people kayaking, right?
Absolutely.
Adam Winn has joined us in the cabin as well. So you got out of town and you headed up to the western side of the state.
There's lots of places in Michigan that I love, but the more Nancy and I visit the northwest side of the Lower Peninsula, the more we fall in love with it. And that's where we went back to. We went back to Interlaken Michigan State Park. We'd been there one other time, and we kind of went in with no major plans. It's just like, okay, we're going to take the kayaks with us. We're going to take the big ones with us in case we hit some good open water. We get the opportunity, and we were just going to go and kind of wing it. And sometimes those are the best ways to take a vacation and not have an itinerary just booked like, oh, this day we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do that, we got to do that.
Sometimes when you
feel rushed,
you either feel rushed, and then if something goes wrong, you don't get to a certain spot or something. It just kind of like the wheels fall off. It's like,
yeah.
But when you go in, like you said, no preconceived itinerary, let's just hit it.
Yeah. We were, 35 miles from Empire, Sleeping Bear Dunes, Glen Arbor, Glen Lake, Crystal River, and we were camping right on Duck Lake and Green Lake there at Interlaken. And, we just said, let's take the boats, let's go see what we can get into. It's 4th of July week. Let's have some fun.
Exactly.
And that's kind of how we started off.
Was the campground packed?
It was busy.
Okay.
But being busy, you know much about Interlaken?
Nah, I've been through it. Nah, I wouldn't say I've stayed
right across the road from the state park. I mean, like right across the road is the Interlaken camp for musicians.
Yep.
And it's high school kids, college kids. I think some big name acts do come up there and help with some of that stuff. I don't know a lot about it, but there's always a lot of people in the area.
Okay.
A lot of buzz going on. The campground, though, for the most part, up until the last weekend that we were there, the first weekend was quiet all the way up until Friday of the next week. There was a lot of kids there, but it wasn't noisy. It was just really laid back and mellow, which was beautiful. It was perfect,
right?
For getting out of town, what we want. Set up camp real quick, got everything done, made some s'mores first night. Of course, got to have s'mores.
Right,
so,
fire
the whole 9 yards. So we decided, start looking like, where do we want to go? What do we want to do? And I've got an app on my phone. I said, well, let's check the wind speeds of Lake Michigan, what's going to happen. And I think you've got it called up there on your computer. It's called Windfinder. And for anybody going out on the water, whether you're a fisherman, whether you're a kayaker, a boater, pleasure boater, what have you, especially on big water, you need to know what's coming at you before you get out there and get in trouble. So we use this a lot here, like on Saginaw Bay, up in the Thumb area on Lake Huron. We've used it up on the north shore of Lake Huron in the Upper Peninsula just to check wind speeds. And it'll give you wind direction at the current time, within an hour or two of each other. and it gives you the direction and the speed. So that's what you need to know. You don't want to get out there and get blown offshore and can't get back in a kayak.
Right. And for those that are listening on the podcast, you got to come over, watch on Facebook Live, because what you can't see is what we're showing now is we're actually showing the map of the wind speed, and it's actually, if you look at it, it's color coded. So if you're looking at it, you notice how it goes from on your left a green to a purple on the right of the screen. And what that actually did is you see the color bar on the left. This is in miles per hour. So it's going, in that purple area, which is over land right now, is anywhere from 0 to maybe 8 miles an hour.
Well, go up to the Straits of Mackinac.
All right.
Can you drag that map and show the Straits of Mackinac?
Let's go. And
if Nancy's watching, she's going to have a heart attack and want to leave right now to go to the Straits.
And if you look at it right now, you see the multi-colors as you start to zoom in. Those colors, and here we are. We're looking straight on top of the Mackinac.
So if we were to say, hey, let's take the big boats, let's go to Mackinac City, and let's kayak across the Straits by the bridge and go to St. Ignace. Right now would be a perfect time because the wind's out of the south, blowing to the north, so you'd have the wind at your back, and you got a 5-mile paddle across.
Yep.
And about 3 to 6 mile an hour winds.
Yeah, roughly just about that. And like you said, it's wind at your back, right?
So that would be a perfect time to go up there if you got the right gear to get out on water. But, we're still talking about big water, open expanses.
So I just clicked for tomorrow, and look what the difference a day makes.
Yeah, you got
tomorrow night, 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. tonight, and I just clicked the next day, same time, 8 p.m. And we're doing, it looks like, probably 17 miles an hour coming straight out of the north.
Yeah, you get across real quick if you can get through the waves.
I was gonna say, and I think I do believe we have some weather moving in.
We do
for tomorrow. So
yeah,
but look at that. You can go to Friday, and you can just, if you got a planned trip, let's say you're going to be up there Sunday, Monday, you can click on Sunday. Look at that, back to dead calm.
Yeah, you can use it. Even like camping. If you're camping like we're going to be going up to the north shore or the south shore of Lake Superior, up in the UP in October. And we want to know what the wind speeds are going to be. We're not going to kayak the big water. We're not even taking the boats with us, but we can actually see what's coming at us. Because we're going to be camping right there.
So you're going to be over by Ontonagon, Lake of the Clouds, right?
Yeah, we're going to be at Union Bay Wilderness Park, right there. Actually, you're right at it, right there in that little notch.
So if you were there, you're going to be camping, right?
Yep.
So
our campsite's right on the water.
If you were there right now, winds are
offshore,
nice and calm.
Yep.
What happens tomorrow? Oh, it actually stayed pretty calm.
Yep.
Believe it or not.
So it's just a great little tool to have. Maybe you're flying a drone for photography, or you want to, maybe take a drone up over your hunting property. You can check the wind speeds, the direction, and it can be used for a lot of other things other than just kayaking. But we find this extremely useful.
Right? Let's see. Would it be nice to be on the bay? Oh, it'd be perfect on the bay.
There you go. So, fishing.
Right?
Especially if you're kayak fishing, for the guys that kayak fish.
Absolutely, because, it doesn't take much to move the kayak. So
exactly.
Zero wind would be pretty awesome.
So it's just a great little tool to have on your phone, and you can use.
And is that free?
That is free. What you're looking at, you just call that up. I've got the app on my phone. It's in both the Apple Store and what's the one for Androids? Google Play Store.
Play Store.
Yeah. So there's you can use it different ways.
Okay.
Or get it for different applications as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Great little tool. So it's called Windfinder.
So you used your Windfinder, you headed up there, and you were deciding what you were going to do. And
yeah, I looked on there like that morning, early that morning, woke up, crack of daylight, got up, got on the app, started checking the winds for the day, found out it was going to be almost dead calm to 3 mile an hour. And I said, we need to pack and go. So we packed a lunch and we took off. Well, the next thing is we're looking for, okay, where do we get on the water at? You got to know where to go to get on the water. We use Base Map a lot to track our trips. Sometimes we can find some places to get in and out of the water with Base Map. But the biggest thing we like to use is another app that I've got on my phone that's free. It's called the Paddling app. Okay. And I think you've got that on there as well, don't you?
I do. And big shout out. Let's see. Let's go back to our live list right now. Denise is on. Swamp Buck is on.
Hey, Swamp Buck.
How's it going?
Love them dry fit shirts. I'm going to talk about them here in a little bit, too.
Right. Adam Winn uses that app for ice fishing as well, especially on big water.
There you go. Yep.
Especially Saginaw Bay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to know when them winds start to shift.
Right. Timmy hears playback in the background.
Here's playback.
Yeah, we don't hear it. So, so going over to this app, we'll start here. This is paddling.com.
Paddling.com will give you all of the locations they have plotted on their map here. Let me go to the, you've got it up there right now, and you can zoom down, get down nice and tight. There's the state of Michigan. There's where we were at up in that northwestern corner. And it will drop pinpoints as to locations where you can get on or off of a body of water, whether it be a river or a lake. That way you can make sure that you can plan your trip. Well, being that it was Lake Michigan, we were just concerned with a place to get in and off the water at the same place, because it's a lake. A stream, you know, you're going to have to find a place to get out downstream. So
you could, our live camera was Empire Beach.
Yep, and it will actually plot a place for it. And it'll give you, if it's just an actual put in or take out spot, it'll let you know if there's parking there, if there's a bathroom there, if it's paid parking, which at Empire Beach, that was the last day. We'll get to that. But we got on at North Bar Lake, which you can see. Well, it was on there.
Okay, here we go.
That little red dot right there, right next to the shore.
This one right here.
That's North Bar Lake.
All right.
Yep.
So you click on it, and then you say location details, and lo and behold, it gives you all the details and a picture of it.
Yep, right there. They're standing right at the launch. That is the launch site, and you can see right out through the cut, and you can paddle right out to Sleeping Bear Dunes.
And there you go, and there's the big hill.
That is the big hill.
And
it's very deceptive. Very, very deceptive.
Right? So it tells you the location, even gives you coordinates if you...
Correct.
And if you want to get driving directions, you can click on that.
You click on it, and it'll bring it up in your mapping system, and it'll take you can drive right to it. So
right,
it's a great little tool.
So you started off there.
That's where we got on the water at, and let's start throwing up a few pictures from our trip. And once we got out onto the main lake, if you're looking west as you get out into Lake Michigan, to the left is Empire Bluffs, and that's what you can see in the photo here on the left-hand side of the screen. And we took a few pictures there. Then we turned, and our destination was Sleeping Bear Dunes, which was up the coast about a mile and a half. Wasn't a real long paddle, but as you can see, look how calm the water is out there. It was
Isn't that
almost
amazing?
like glass.
You know, sometimes you hear, you know, the wind and the waves, and here you are out on the big water, and look how glassy it is.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was simply incredible. If you look real close, you can see the bottom, you know, in these photos. We were sitting in about 30 foot of water as we were paddling. This next picture right here, the dunes are starting to come up there on the right-hand side. If you look to the right of the kayak, you can see the rifts in the sand.
Oh, really?
On the bottom of the lake bed. And like I said, we're sitting probably about 30 feet of water. And it was just so clear. You could see all the details. You could see a lot of fish in the bottom, any rocks, anything like that. This is another great picture of it. You can actually see the rifts of the sand in there too. But you can see the mirror image off of the water that day.
That is pretty awesome. Nancy Jackson also says that she can hear like another episode playing in the background. Not sure
what that is. Not sure where it's coming from.
All right. So
is it playing off of yours?
I got everything.
Yeah, I don't know why that would be.
Right? No idea. So you got out there kayaking. Because you're heading for the big water, was there any different type of, Adam Winn's kind of asking this question, is there a different type of gear you're taking with you than typically when you are using it, like if you're going on the inland lakes as opposed to, or the inland rivers, or besides, I know you're using the bigger kayaks.
Yes.
Do you take different gear with you?
Yes. If you look here, this is from my boat. For my kayak, you notice the black fabric that is in the bottom of this picture here. That's called a spray skirt, and basically you put that on. It's just what you think it is. It's like a skirt that goes over top of you, and it has kind of like shoulder straps that hold it up, and then you tighten it around your waist, and then it has a bungee type system within the fabric that goes around the cowl of your kayak. So let's say the wave action was really bad that day, but we decided to go out anyway. Any water that comes up on that top does not go down into your kayak. It just simply rolls off. Okay?
Okay.
And you can also see in front the white handle and the yellow pump in front. It's better in this photo right here. You can see the cartridge right there. That is a bilge pump, a hand bilge pump.
Oh.
So if we do get water inside, you can actually pump it out.
If you're taking on water, right?
Yeah.
Start bailing.
And you can see I do carry extra paddles with me as well.
Right. Do you carry like a Coast Guard radio or anything?
Yeah, Nancy carries a Coast Guard radio with her. She's got it registered. And that's something, if you do have a radio, that you buy one of these Coast Guard radios, you do have to register that with the Coast Guard. And they give you an ID number that you have to put into your radio. So if you were to make a distress call, they would know who that radio is tied to.
Okay.
So
then they can link it right back to you.
Right, yep. So, Denise asked, do we wear bathing suits or special clothes? Yes and no. Sometimes I'll have a bathing suit on. This day, I think I had what are called paddle shorts. They're kind of like a quick dry.
Okay.
And I had my swamp buck, or no, I have a t-shirt on that day. A lot of times I'll wear my swamp buck water camo.
That is some great stuff.
I love that. It is so light and it breathes so well. You know, it can be. We were out in the water. It was 85 degrees, and here I am wearing a long sleeve shirt, and I was as cool as a cucumber. I mean, it was nice. So yeah, we're a combination of both. We kind of dress for the weather. Honestly, saying this water that we were in was pretty cold. We we should have had bare minimum our wetsuits on, and probably if we had fell out, hypothermia would hit us pretty quick.
What do you think the water temperature was?
50, 55 degrees.
Yeah, it's a little cool.
Maybe 60. It was chilly. It was real chilly. So
and if you want, you can hit my computer up. Anybody thinking we're talking about swamp buck? If you go to the website and use the promo code UNJ10, their fishing stuff is all on sale right now, and you can see he's got a great selection. There's hoodies. There's short sleeves. So I see he's kind of getting ready for. Those people that are into football training camp started. I see he's got the Green Bay colors here, and then he's got it getting ready. He'll be selling these a lot here towards the end of the year when the Lions win the division.
There you go.
Right? So he's ready and prepared for that. But you go over there, go over to the website, check it out. And he's got some great deals going on.
And don't forget the neck buffs either. That's something else, especially if you're on the water all day. A lot of these pro fishermen use those to keep the glare from getting them sunburned.
Exactly.
It's a great buffer to keep cool, keep the sweat off you, wicks the sweat away, and it just does a real nice job. So.
Exactly. So get on over to Swamp Buck, get yourself some fishing.
So you talking about other special gear. Lunch pail, water bottle.
Well, you got to have that gear.
You see this bungee cord I got coming up off the boat there? That's tied to my water bottle. I got a Yeti 26-ounce Rambler bottle that I use to keep water in, staying hydrated. If you're out on the water for any length of time, you just make sure you need to have some food and some water while you're out there exerting some energy, having some fun. So the thing about this is not a float. This is a straight up paddle.
Well, you have to. Well,
you paddle.
Yeah, you have to because the water is pushing you inland towards the land, right?
Well, this day there was no push at all.
Yeah, right. So
this trip, I think we put 5 miles on. It was a straight up 5 mile paddle. We kayaked up to the dunes, and this shot is so deceiving. To look at that, you're like, that hill's not that big. But as you get closer to it and you realize. What am I seeing up there? Am I seeing like people, or is that bushes, or is that animals? What is that on the side of the hill? And as you start to get closer, you figure out them little dots are people that are bear crawling back
up the hill, eh?
Yeah. So, and we stopped down. We had our lunch on the shore. Had the shore all to ourselves.
It looks like I don't even see except your footprints in the sand.
That was it, man. It was really, really nice.
The question from Adam is, what happens with Nancy when the waves are so big that she loses sight of you? She get nervous?
No, she laughs.
She laughs. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that happened last year.
Really?
That was a story last year at Pentwater, yeah, as we were kayaking out into Lake Michigan and hit cross waves coming out of Pentwater Lake. Yeah, we were taking on some big, probably 3-4 footers, and I disappeared and screamed like a little girl.
Okay.
And Nancy brings up a great point. Kayaking is a money pit if you're doing it safely, and that's true. I mean,
That's
gear
true
costs money.
That's true of anything you get into. Because you can go down with the rabbit hole of getting every little piece of equipment, and absolutely, that just.
The picture we're looking at now, actually, we've moved on to another lake. So, kind of wrapping up, Sleeping Bear Dunes was really cool.
There you go.
It was awesome. It was a great trip being down in front, and we'll get into a little more here, but I'll kind of blaze through some pictures real quick. This is on Duck Lake. This was 4th of July day. Or no, this was July 3rd. I take that back. This was July 3rd, I do believe. We went out, had a lunch on the shore out there, and then on the 4th, we went back out and caught a sunset. And we were hoping to catch some fireworks on the lake that night.
Okay.
So we went out there, hung out, and special gear here, you've got to have a light on. Once sun sets, you've got to have a light on your boat.
Okay.
And for kayakers that are non-motorized, you have to have just a white light. And we do have those on our boats, or our kayaks. Keep calling them boats. But they'd already shot the fireworks off on the lake the night before. We were hoping they'd have them on the 4th.
Oh, okay.
And what you can see in the distance on this photo is Traverse City shooting their fireworks off.
Okay.
So it was a nice evening. So
and that's what made And did you have any bad weather for the week you were up there?
Not a lick. It rained twice. It sprinkled twice. Once at night and once early in the morning. So the next day we took off and we went to Lake Dubonett, and we've seen loons there before, and we wanted to go back and see if we could find them again.
Okay.
And we went out to a little island, and I took this boat. This is a burrow on an island. Don't know what animal made it. I'm assuming either badger, maybe
on the island on the lake.
An animal may have gotten out there when it was frozen, at some point offshore. But it's quite a ways to this island, so coyote. Possibly, I don't know, but some varmint, and what you see in the bottom is feathers, off of a black and white bird. I don't know if that was a loon, because something I learned from Nancy's son is that loons cannot walk. They can fly, but they don't walk.
Really?
Yeah, their feet are too far behind them.
Huh.
So they can't stand up and walk. So they push themselves around on shore. So that could possibly be the explanation of this, that one actually...
So once you get a loon on land,
became dinner. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know how hard it is for them to take flight, but that's Lake Dubonett. And then the next day we took off and we were going to go to Crystal River. We found a drop-in point for Crystal River, and I said, you do know right across the street, I mean we're talking the road right at the drop-in point, is a boat marina, and there's Little Fischer and Big Fischer Lake, which goes into Glen Lake, which is Glen Arbor. So we dropped in and we went the other way. You got that up there on the
right here, Glen Lake, right?
Yeah. So we dropped in.
You dropped in up here.
No, that's all of Glen Lake. M22 is dividing it right there in the middle.
Right here.
We went in on the northeast corner. So if you go to the northeast corner of that lake, which would be your upper right there, that's where we put in.
Oh, right here.
Yep. And we paddled the 3 lakes that day and took off. And you want to talk about a surprise. And this is the best thing about not having any, preconceived ideas about where to go, what to do. We just kind of winged it, so to speak. But this water...
And it tells you that you had a portage a half a kilometer away.
Yeah, that was on the Crystal.
Right.
Yep. But on Glen Lake, when we finally got out into Glen Lake, we were pleasantly surprised at how clear the water was. And now we know why the Crystal River is so clear. But here's a good picture. I was setting up for a train robbery with all of my camo on, my water camo, my neck gaiter. And
right. You look like you're ready to rob someone.
So it was a great day on the water. But that dry fit shirt to me was priceless because it kept me cool. It was 85, 87 degrees on the water. Never broke a sweat, paddled hard, and stayed dry and stayed cool. So
right, and Adam Winn thinks he found Sasquatch.
Yeah, maybe it's possible.
And Nancy Jackson comment is, what else did we learn from my kids about woodpeckers and birds?
Birds don't have sphincters.
There you go.
And woodpeckers, their tongue wraps all the way up around the top and to the front of their brain. That way, when they're hammering, it cushions their brain.
All right.
So there you go. Some useless facts that you need to know.
Oh, you're being called out. You didn't go through the tunnel on Crystal River?
I haven't got there yet. Yep.
He portaged.
No, I didn't portage. So Nancy's here. She's holding up 4 fingers, 4 days in a row paddling here at this point. Okay, so we're hitting it hard, doing our thing. And then we finally go over and drop in on the Crystal. And we take off and head to Glen Harbor. A little more traffic than I'd like on this river.
Other paddlers?
Yes,
Okay.
but it was tight and technical, which I really like. You know, you had to be on your toes. You had to, watch out for things, maneuver around a lot of stuff. The current was not fast, but maneuvering a 14.5-foot kayak on a narrow river sometimes can be a little challenging. So
You got a little shallow.
it did. We never had to get out, though. We did get into a water fight with 2 youngsters on the river who either had a cottage there or lived there. They had super soakers, and they didn't know is we had bilge pumps that could shoot just about as far and put a lot of water out real quick. And I soaked one of them in the face to the point where he could not fire back.
Nice.
But the other one got me good. So
Denise is asking, with you being face covered like that, do they have trains on the water? Looks like you're going to rob one, right?
I was looking for one.
Looks like Nancy Jackson's continuing to call you out with you didn't want to do the spidery tunnel.
It wasn't so much that. Oh, the spidery tunnel. That was a narrow tunnel. All right, so let me get back on camera a quick second. When we put in, so the road, you can either go to the right and you go to Crystal River, or you can go to the left, go to the marina on the other side of the road,
Yep.
and go into the lake. Well, there's a tube about that big
Okay.
going under the road. When we come back to get the river, I took and pulled my rig across. She wanted to go through the tube. And I'm like, no, because you got to lean way, way over. And right before we dropped in the marina, a kid was coming through, and he went through there, and he screamed like a little girl. And he kept screaming, get off me, get off me, get off me. And as he come out of the tube, he's like picking spiders off of him and flinging them. I'm like, no, I'm not going through there. So no.
Not doing the Spider-Man trick, huh?
So that portage, I took.
All right, there you go.
So, but we shot the tube. I don't think I've got video of that. No, I don't have video. If you want to see the video of that, you got to go to TikTok.
Yep, that's on our. Speaking of that, folks, if you have TikTok, go over, find Up North Journal on TikTok. Become a follower. We're trying to ramp that up and get that going. Question: have you ever? Okay, so first Nancy says, "Here comes the excuses."
Yeah, I see that.
And then Adam asks, "Have you ever been stopped by the Coast Guard or a DNR?"
Not in the kayaks, but I have been stopped on the lake bow fishing at night.
Right. Yep.
Other than that, no, I've not.
So they have not messed with.
But I will tell you, state of Michigan, if you're in a kayak, you must have a PDF with you. You don't have to have it on, but you got to have it with you. If you don't, it's a ticket, and it's $100.
Yep. And I got stopped while on the kayaks up in the UP on Michigami.
Did you?
Yep. She came over. I saw her. She was pulling a boat into the boat launch, and I was watching her. And sure enough, she came and checked me and had PDF on and showed her my license. And she says, "Okay, have a great day."
Yep.
You know.
Oh, your fishing license.
Yeah.
Okay. Crystal River Outfitters, great little place. These guys keep the river clean. It's Crystal River for a reason, because it's clean. I saw one piece of trash in the river the whole trip.
Really?
And it was a little tiny, so I'm giving these guys a shout out just because they do a great job at keeping it clean. But I will tell you, you will not get past their little outfit right there, because the river is blocked after that with blowdowns, and nobody else cleans it.
And you just happen to get out right there.
Exactly. But they do clean the river. And there was a little foil top about this big around, like if you were to, take a top off of a bottle and you peel that foil back.
Yeah.
That, I saw one of those in the river. That's the only thing I saw the whole trip.
Gotcha.
So, they do a fantastic job at keeping that clean.
The Coast Guard question, and Nancy said, not even when I got to Canada.
That's for another time.
Right, exactly. Do you ever fish while kayaking?
I have with you and with Adam.
Yep. Denise is with you, Mike. No. Blah, 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 blah.
All right, so we'll wrap this up kind of quick here. I want to get through the rest of these photos here.
Yep, go ahead.
This part was really cool. We went back second to last day, which would have been last Friday of our trip, we went back to Empire and put back in Lake Michigan because we were going to get sunset pictures. The lake was dead calm again. I mean, just like glass. But the clouds rolled in. But as you see here, Nancy's holding what I call our trolleys, sea tugs. We bought these up there. Best $140 we each ever spent. These things, there's a video, I posted a video on TikTok on them. I'm going to do another one about how they work. It was more or less how you break them down. I can break that thing down into 5 pieces in about 15 seconds, put it inside my tote, or my bilge area, or bulkhead, and still have a ton of room to put other things. These things tow, you got it called up there?
I will in just 1 second.
It's basically you put your rig on it, you strap it down, and you pick it up on the front end and just pull it. It is so easy to do. It makes it so worthwhile. You got them there? There you go, right there. These things are awesome, especially if you got a long haul.
Right.
We use these things for the rest of the week up there. And as you can see over here, we took them right down to the beach. We parked up in the parking area there at Empire, wheeled them through the parking lot, right down across the sand, right down to the water, and away we went. They were awesome. But
so how well does that wheel system work in sand?
Incredible. It floats on top of the sand. Our boats are probably 55 pounds dry, with our gear 75 pounds, and we had no problems navigating through rocks, like pebble-sized rocks, navigating through sand, dry or wet, grass on the street, no problems at all.
Right, and it's just one of those things. It looks like you have the Sea Tug kayak and canoe cart.
Yep.
And they do have another version with sand track wheels, but it sounds like you're not having any problems with what you're going through.
Yeah, no, these wheels, they made it through just fine. It was anywhere we wanted to go, we went. No issues at all. We got out on the water, and we were going to go up. We were going to go down the coast towards the Empire Bluffs, take some photos. We had dinner on the shore that night, and it was just absolutely beautiful, as you can see once again. And we got a little ways offshore this time. There was a point when I got out there, and you can see the water, or the bottom, 30, 40 feet down. Mm-hmm. There was a point, I'm like, we're a little far offshore, and I look down, there's nothing.
No more bottom, huh?
It was dark. And I
dropped right off.
And I'm like, oh, crap. I'm too far offshore.
Right.
These bluffs are probably 500 feet high.
Nice.
450 to 500 feet high. I mean, they're a ways up there. So the perspective to me is what blows my mind. You lose all perspective of really how big something is because you're in such a big body of water. And I can see how people can get lost out on the water when it gets cloudy or fogged in.
Oh, yeah.
Everything just melts together.
It melts together and you have no point of reference.
And this was our...
What are you doing there? Your sitting bear? Or what
That's my sitting bear.
I know it.
Yeah, and this is day 5.
Right.
5 days straight of paddling. So, and this is when it got a little freaky. As far as you could see to the left, as far as you could see to the right, and we're looking dead across at 60 miles to Wisconsin.
Okay.
Clouds are rolling in, and all of a sudden the clouds and the water meet, and you can't find the horizon. And it's what I call the God moment. You feel like you're this speck of nothing in the middle of this great expanse of water and sky. It's perspective, man. It's just incredible what the outdoors can give you, as far as an experience. I mean, that right there just says it all. So, last day, we went to the top side. We went up to Sleeping Bear. For anybody that's not been there, that's Glen Lake that we kayaked. And from the top side, the perspective is just as real as it is down on the water. It's so hard to really get a grasp of just how big everything is out there.
Nancy just realized she didn't know you were waving. She thought you were waving, not saying 5.
Oh, I was saying 5.
No, she thought you were waving.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying 5. 5 days. That was our 5th day on the water. So, but you can see in the distance, you can see South Manitou Island, which is 18 miles offshore from Sleeping Bear. Doesn't look like it's that far. I mean, here's the one that really kind of puts it in perspective. We're on the observation deck looking down, and them little specks are people trying to climb back up Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
You
Here's a good perspective here too.
All how tall we are, and then all of a sudden you look at that picture and you just go, yeah, like you go back to what you just said, you're a little bit of a speck, right?
Speck and nothing. I mean, it's, these are inland seas, and they had a little thing there talking about the legend of Sleeping Bear from the Native Americans. And here's the most important thing if you ever go.
The warning sign.
This sign. If you go down and you can't make it back up and you need to be rescued, it will cost you $3,000. So you better know before you go. And no, I did not climb. I did not go down it.
Yeah. How far is that down there? Talked about them?
450 feet from where we were at.
Yeah, no. I'll take a picture looking down it.
They say the average is about an hour and 15 minutes to climb back up.
That makes sense.
Bear climbing.
Well, that's what you're doing, right?
It's a football field and a half, if you think about it.
Rescue costs $3,000.
There you go. So takeaways, big water's big. It's huge, man. It was so overwhelming. There's a couple times I was looking up at Sleeping Bear or the Empire Bluffs, and I got vertigo, and my head started spinning, and I kind of like got disoriented, and I had to like stop, reground myself, look at the front of my boat, so I could get my sense of direction again and get my head back straight.
Okay.
It's big.
Right. Well, yeah. It's
and the paddle app and Windfinder. If you're out on the water, man, those things are just great free apps to use, and I use Base Map to track all my trips with. So, good stuff.
Yeah. Mark Coleman's at it again.
Okay.
Yes, I did say how tall we are and talk about perspective.
Yeah. I'm not that much taller than him, but I'm just a little bit.
Well, it's good to know next time we face something that's 450, we'll just get on Mark's shoulders.
Yeah, there we go, and jump off.
Right.
Walk right with your shoulders onto the top.
Exactly. So.
But no, it was a great weekend. It was good to be away. It was good to have a trip that we planned, but we didn't plan. We had no preconceived notion of like, we got to do this, and this.
Right, exactly. It was kind of a free-flowing week, and look at the weather you had.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It sprinkled, literally sprinkled one evening for about 30 minutes, and one morning, like at 6 a.m. to like 8 a.m., it sprinkled.
Right. So there you go. But glad you're back. Glad we're back. While you were doing that, we were deciding to take our fishing trip over with Scott over on the Rock and Reel.
Yeah, you guys did some walleyeing.
We did, and there you have the live shot looking out tonight at the Bay City Yacht Club where he has the Rock and Reel 2.0 and 2
live cameras in one night.
Right?
It's a bonus night.
It is, and let me get my pictures up. And
is this the new boat?
So this is not the new boat.
Okay. This is the one I was on with you last year.
Yes. And what he made some upgrades. He actually did a lot of upgrades. He spent some money. You'll notice this picture. We were there early. We left on time.
Okay.
But he didn't want to leave on time, which was kind of funny because the wind was actually kind of
too calm.
No. It was rocking and rolling a little bit.
Oh, it was a little too rocky.
Yeah, so as the day went on, it was supposed to get more calmer. So he says, hey, we just take our time. But we were, just so you know, we were there on time, not Tammy time.
Okay, I knew there was something there to be said about the timing.
Well, absolutely. And if you see in this picture, he added electronics at the back of the boat. Right there, right down at the center console between the two engines. He now can see the same display that he has up on by the driving, where he drives, right?
So this is his GPS display?
Yep.
Or is it his depth finder display?
Yes.
Both?
Both.
Okay.
And so what he did also add is, you notice his engines, I didn't get a good picture of it, they actually have a wrap on them that says Rock and Reel 2.0.
Okay.
Getting kind of, as he liked to call it, sexy.
Looks like Adam missed his deer camp coffee that morning.
We were just getting ready, and, I was doing my casual shots. He's got the same look in this picture, by the way.
Yeah, still no coffee.
Right, so we're getting out, heading out, and as you can see, the morning started. That
does look rough.
And it was kind of rocking and rolling. Mm-hmm. We got to where we were going to go. Adam really wanted to help Scott, so he was starting to put out the lines.
Okay.
And so on this trip, Adam and I learned to do putting out the line and hooking up the planer boards.
So he was playing Gilligan.
We both were, actually.
Okay.
And at one point, Scott actually said, I'm just going to sit here and let you guys handle the boat.
Okay.
I'm like, all right. So As you can see, we're setting lines, getting ready, and really, it didn't take too long for Denise to break the ice, getting the first fish in, and it was a walleye.
That's a nice walleye right there.
It was. It was. And as you notice, as we go through these pictures, you're going to watch that water. It's just going to go to calm. One of the things we did find out, though, the fish were in 14 feet of water.
All day?
Yep.
Okay.
You went anything shallower, you picked up more weeds. And one thing also, if you slowed down, you picked up other fish. So here we got Adam hooked up, and the water's still kind of bouncing us around here. And this actually, believe it or not, is Adam's very first catfish.
I was going to say, that looks like a catfish.
Reason we caught catfish, boat's going too slow.
Okay.
So he had to tick it up to, I think, 1.9 to 2.1, I think is where he wanted to be.
Okay.
And so we started, we could tell when we slowed down or we were making a turn, then the catfish would hit.
Did the wind, going into the wind or away from the wind or crosswind, how did that affect the speed of the boat? I mean, obviously,
Exactly.
Going into the
Yep.
wind. You had to adjust for that.
And so what he also, if you see around his neck, is actually a Bluetooth. Now, he can actually work the boat from that handheld thing now.
Okay.
And but it wasn't working. So we kind of had to go back to the manual there as well, doing it manually, him telling us what to do. Denise then hooked up on a fish, and this was her very first fish as well. It was a fighter.
I thought the other walleye was her first fish.
Well, that was the first fish of the day.
Okay.
Now this, and I'm going to skip ahead one. We'll just get here. You can see that pole's really bending.
Pike?
So this was her very first, yeah, you guessed it, boat was going too slow.
Okay.
It was a catfish.
Another cat.
Right? So we were playing with the catfish. So we had to speed that boat back up, and there she is with her very first catfish.
What was the weight on the first walleye?
You know, we don't know what the weight was.
So you weren't weighing them?
We weren't weighing them. So, yep, that's her very first catfish. Then we would take turns as we always did. This is Adam bringing in another one. I do believe this is his first walleye of the day. We actually did not catch. We caught a couple to throw back, but most of them were anywhere from 13 and a half all the way up.
So keepers now are what?
13 on Saginaw Bay, and we're allowed 8.
Okay. I
So-
know they're trying to take a lot of those. There's
Yep.
a lot right there in the middle size.
Exactly. They're trying to. They're stunted. There's so many out there, and as you see now, Adam is helping. There's one of the small ones we caught. Yep. Another walleye. But as you see, as these pictures go, the waves are starting to mellow out, right? So, yeah, I had my Blades bait hat, my new lucky hat for fishing.
Your new lucky hat.
Yeah.
Okay. Did it bring you luck?
It did. I caught her
Okay. With the hat?
with the hat.
All right.
But we did some fishing out there. We had a great time. And as you can see now, Denise, it started to get warm. The waves started calming down, started to get warm. We started to take off our sweatpants and our
Morning attire,
and our hoodies were gone. And before you know it, we're down to T-shirts and shorts.
What was the lure of choice, color-wise?
Okay,
what were you catching them on?
So as it goes, that's a good question. So we threw out, he started with all colors, black, silver, green, and watermelon. And yeah, they were kind of hitting mostly green.
Okay.
So, but that didn't leave out the black, silver, or the watermelon hit a couple good ones. I do believe we did catch one on pink cougar.
Okay.
And so we then had it was awesome. And like you see in the back over her shoulder, look how calm that water is getting.
Yeah, a little like Lake Michigan for us at the same time.
Exactly, right? And so it was just awesome. And at this point, we were just catching them. We had to get to that 14 feet of water, and then we started hitting them again. And we caught catfish. We caught, what's this one? Oh, I think there's another cat.
Didn't look like there was a lot of traffic out there.
You know what? No, there wasn't. And if you saw off in the distance, we saw the boats, and we're like, but we didn't need to go anywhere. We just kept trolling. And
was there a lot of radio traffic that day?
No.
So there wasn't like people in another area fishing.
So actually, he tried calling his the boat next to him.
Yep.
Didn't bother going out. One guy had boat trouble, but I think the morning weather kind of scared people off. There's Adam with his second catfish.
So Adam's saying flicker shads and flicker minnows. What you guys were using?
Thank you. I knew there was a name for them.
And I'm seeing some here about Pringles and Chips Ahoy cookies, and so you obviously.
Well, yeah, snacks.
That's because Mark Coleman's asking about snacks. There was no cosmic brownies for the day, huh?
There was no cosmic brownies. And at one point, look how calm the lake is. We're just kind of trolling along. Captain Scott's doing his thing.
Did the bite slow down when the water got calm?
No,
really.
We just kept putting them on, and before you know it, we had our limit of. There was 4 of us.
Mm-hmm. So 4.
8,
32 fish.
32 fish, and this one on the right-hand side, which was Denise's very first pike she caught, and it was 24, I think.
Okay.
So, a couple of firsts. First catfish for Adam, first pike, first catfish for... And I was the only one that... I think I was the only one that caught a sheephead this time.
Okay.
Lucky me.
Gotcha.
Right?
So another good day on Rock and Reel 2.0.
It was another great day on the Rock and Reel 2.0. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I was kind of in a Chips Ahoy. Oh, that's right. You're right, Denise. As we were getting ready to leave, and we were leaving, all these little bass boats were heading out.
Tournament?
Yeah, there was a tournament going on, and he kind of chuckled. He goes, yeah, they're going to get past that point, and they're going to hit those waves, and those little shallow boats are going to start bouncing.
Like little bobbers in the water.
Right, and so, yep, that was another thing. Besides learning how to set the lines, set the planer boards, and he also let us net the fish, and even had Denise netting fish. It was so much fun. And he just basically let us.
He lets you have the experience that you're looking for.
Right, exactly. Whether it was
within reason.
Yeah, right. So
no pirate runs.
No pirate runs. And it was just so much fun. And like you said, next time Adam and I will probably he just called out how far 50 because his reels have line counters.
Right.
So 50, set it, tie the board on, get it out there. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
So you were captaining in a way, so to speak.
We were both being Gilligan and setting all the bait for Captain.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I can't wait till next time. He is now switched over. I think it's this weekend or next weekend. He is heading to Ludington.
Salmon runs.
He's going to be doing salmon fishing.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to hook up with him on that side of town.
I will give a big shout out to, if you can find it real quick. The week we were gone, I think Adam Winn was over on Lake Manistee, and he got into some big water too. And I think they were doing some crappie fishing and salmon fishing both, were they not?
Yes.
If you can find those photos real quick, give him a quick shout here. Tammy wants to know, did you guys keep the cheeks?
No, we did not keep the cheeks.
No cheeks for you.
No cheeks for us. I was not about to sit there and de-cheek them.
De-cheek
that
them?
was 32 fish. But yeah, it was. But I tell you what, watching him zip those fish, his daughter talked mom into buying him this nice, expensive new Bubba knife. And
did you find the Adam pictures?
I'm waiting for him to load up.
Okay.
Just taking its good old time.
Yeah, because those are some nice fish he was landing over there as well.
Right? Oh, definitely.
Somebody said something clicked at her ticket. Was there something involved with the ticket somewhere? Did somebody get in trouble?
No.
Somebody not wearing their seatbelt?
I was not being responsible.
No. There must have been a seatbelt violation somewhere.
You gotta remind me, Adam. Yeah, Shooter's Mix is great. If you know it, you know. You are absolutely correct. Stay tuned for more on that, by the way.
I'll have to get the story after the show's off the air. Sounds like.
Right, for sure.
Go over to the fishing page.
Oh, there we go.
So while he's doing that,
Yeah,
we talked about TikTok earlier. So we have just launched TikTok about 2 weeks ago. We've got 6 videos up right now. We're still kind of learning the ropes with that, but for those of y'all who are listening or watching right now, go over and check it out. A lot of it right now is kayaking from my trip, some pictures and videos, and a quick how-to on that sea tug trolley. Is the way it stows away. It's just really, really nice the way that thing works. So, and other than that, yeah, the camping trip was great. Had a great time. Saw some fireworks. Had some great food. Got a lot of rest. And it was really quiet. That's the thing that really surprised me. Like your trip on the water was quiet with not a lot of boats. There wasn't a lot of people. I mean, the campground was full, but it wasn't like there was people just everywhere. You know, it was really nice and quiet. Even the kids were very, very respectable, except for 2 girls that almost got smacked by Nancy.
Nancy.
Yeah. They kind of like jumped out right in front of us as we're driving in the truck through the campground, and then give us evil eye like. And then as I was backing into my campsite, they snuck around and walked behind my truck. And the only way I know they were there is my backup camera on my tailgate. Had I not had that, I would have hit them.
Oof.
Because I lost sight of them. I was trying to figure out where they went as I'm starting to back up, because I stopped, put it in reverse, made sure nobody's around, start backing in. And I'm backing up, I get off the pavement and start into the campsite.
Right.
And they walk, all of a sudden I see these people walk right behind me. Oh. And it was them. And it's just like, really?
What are you doing?
You little snot-nosed brats.
Right? Okay, so been on the boat, somebody is always put in charge of the counting of the fish.
Oh, that clicker ticket.
Yes. Okay. So somebody was in charge. We won't mention any names, Adam, and he didn't do a very good job.
So you had to go back in and count them in the
wall. So as we were getting towards what we thought was 32, he goes, "We'll do a live count. We'll pull them all out, throw them back in." We actually had 29.
Oh.
So we could fish some more.
Okay.
Of course, somebody missed clicking because he was probably too excited about catching the catfish or something. I don't know. But that's the clicking story.
Okay.
But speaking of clicking, he went over earlier, July 5th.
He was clicking all right.
He was clicking some big fish over on the west side, over where you were at. Mm-hmm. He was just south of you, down in Manistee, right?
Yep.
So yeah, definitely hooked up with some nice fish.
Had some nice water there too. Look how that's not wavy at all.
Right. So yeah. So
using beaver lures.
That was me up in the UP when I was up there.
Okay.
But yeah. So he definitely hooked into some nice kings, a king and a brown.
And I think he also caught a 14-inch crappie.
Yeah, he's got a picture of I don't know if does he get it here? We're a tag team.
Keep you from clicking through at everybody's expense here. So.
Right.
But we're running up towards the end of the show here. You got it? Okay.
Right
there we go. 14-incher. That's a nice crappie. You get a mess of them, that's a good dinner. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all in all, Team UNJ had a great 4th of July.
We did. We were outdoors where we like to be, whether we were fishing, kayaking, doing whatever.
Hold your hands up real quick. I want to see. You got all 10?
Yes, I do.
We brought all 10 back as well, Those of you wondering, what are you doing? 4th of July, if you got all your fingers and thumbs back when you come back on the 5th, then everything was good. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, did not bring them all their digits back.
You hear some of the stories, and it's like, really? Usually there's probably some pops involved.
Yeah, some barley pops.
And
I heard a kid got an eye literally shot out with a Roman candle.
Okay, that's good.
That was not good, so.
Right. Well, they had that weatherman down in Detroit, Channel 7. A few years back, might be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he, from my understanding, I don't think he was doing the firework, but he got lost an eye.
Yep.
Right? So, but yeah, we're back. Now we got the second half of the year. Days are getting shorter.
What are we looking at next week?
Next week, I'm not sure yet. I know we're going to have another UP person on for this month of July, because last week's was actually June's. Mm-hmm. So, got a couple choices to look into, see if we can get one on, and then we'll find somebody to get on.
Okay, and I'm going to possibly be up in the Mayo area this weekend, so I'm going to try to stop into the Mayo Deer Camp store, check out the store, check out the digs over there, see if I can do a live drop from the little cafe, and see what they got to offer.
There you go. Sounds like a plan for us for the weekend. I think Adam will be out fishing. I know next weekend I'll be out camping, so I'll definitely be fishing. So yeah.
How's your rig going? Good?
Yeah.
Everything good? I know you got set up with a new rig this year.
Yeah, it's a learning curve.
It is.
It's learning the process.
We're still learning.
You know,
I've had mine for 4, this is our 4th season now. Still learning some new things as we go along, but all in all, it's going well.
It's actually more of just a process when you basically get down to it. It's like, okay, the way you set it up, the way you take it down.
Yep.
And
Nancy's great at that. When we unhook, I take care of everything outside. She's on the inside. By the time we both get done, it's done. 15, 20 minutes, we're completely set up.
Yep, exactly. Should have showed you my manicure. I actually choose it looks like fishing lures. Yes, you did.
I was going to say somebody get a hook in her finger.
No. She actually had a.
Did you get a manicure?
No. They were like a hot yellow.
Okay.
And they looked like the fishing lures. It was great. She
Yellow,
put her hand over. Yeah.
Yellow hot top.
Yep. So
So we're going to see about next week yet. We really don't know it just yet. So
thank you, Tammy. Dave Rexroth. There we go. So, but yeah, it's just a process, and maybe we'll have to talk. We'll have to have a camping night and talk about our campers, and that's one thing my cousins have taught me and showed me is how to do that process. And if you have a problem, how do you work around it, or try to figure it out?
Well, yeah, you're 100 plus miles, 200 miles from home, and we were 140 miles away from home. And what do you do on a holiday weekend if something doesn't work?
Right.
How do you get around it? And we're going to the UP in October for Lake of the Clouds, and we're going to be on the south shore of Lake Superior and blow. Hopefully, we don't get a big blow, but you might.
First weekend, second weekend?
Second week.
Literally, it is the roll of the dice.
And we're planning now. I'm already starting to find websites and look at different things, different times of the year of when those colors hit. Got a pretty good idea that we're going to be right at it, hopefully, and looking for things to do, places to go, things to see. Because we're not taking kayaks with us. I'm staying off Lake Superior in October.
Well,
it's not a good
idea.
idea.
Like I said, anything in the UP can happen. I've been up there October 1st and had 4 inches of snow.
Right. You never know.
What will Mother Nature have in store for you?
It's going to be a mixed bag. I have a feeling.
You literally will get all 4 seasons in one day.
I'm going to take plenty of warm clothes and maybe some late spring clothes. I'm not going to take summer clothes.
You literally got to pack like that.
Yeah.
It's like, because one day might be 70 and sunny, and you're like, okay, I need my shorts. And the next day you're waking up going, 32 degrees is a little cold.
Yeah. Talking about process, one quick thing before we go. So this was our first full week of camping. We were actually out 7 days in the camper. You got to think about your black tank and your gray tank.
Yep.
What do you do and when do you do it? Okay, how do you work that process?
Yep, exactly. And
we've got a system down and it works. We'll talk about that maybe on a camping show or something.
Yeah, we should do that. So, yep. So next week we'll find somebody, and then probably in 2 weeks we'll get somebody back on from the UP. We're down to only a couple of shows with them before November 3, 4, 5 up in the UP.
There you go. All right, so that's going to do it for us this week, folks. For those of you listening on the podcast, make sure you go over to iTunes if you're listening to us on iTunes and give us a review. If you're watching the live stream here, give us a like, follow, share. Do that on all of our social media. New social media, TikTok. Do the same there, please. And follow us. We're trying to build generate some buzz over there and a good following as well. So, I know people talk about TikTok, different this, that, and the other, but that's where we're at right now, and we're going to give it a whirl and see what we can do with it. So It's a different way of showcasing what we do in the outdoors in a little more fun and robust and quick way. So that being said, that's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back again next Wednesday night. Good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. It's 7:30. Y'all take care.
This episode was brought to you by
Deer Camp Coffee,
Buck Baits,
JPO Game Calls,
The Island Armory,
Hacker Max,
Sunrise Archery,
and C3 Better the Hunt Technology.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.